Hi, welcome to Business Influencers. Hope everyone is having a great week. Again, we are excited to bring in another great guest that is going to be sharing his words of wisdom and insights to take your level of business and influence to the next level. Again, our show continues to grow in size. Again, thanks to you, the listeners, each and every week, not only tuning in yourself, but sharing the show with others that too are now checking us out, not only on TALRadio.org, but also on our YouTube channel at TALRadio, including Spotify and Apple, giving you multiple different platforms to listen to the show. And again, our promise to you is to keep delivering quality subject matter experts that come in to help elevate your level of influence and take your business to the next level. Well, we got a great show for you today. We're going to be talking about quit repeating yourself. And this is from Jaime Jay and his book. And he is involved in so many great things. You're going to even learn more about his business and all the great things that he's doing. He is a connector, a starter geek podcaster, founder of award-winning Bottleneck distant assistant services company, and author of Quit Repeating Yourself. He is a U.S. Army veteran, worked in corporate America for over 12 years before becoming a full-time entrepreneur in 2006. Jaime lives in Springfield, Missouri with his wife, Sarah, and their dog, Nikita. Fun fact about Jaime, he has been playing ice hockey for over 45 years and still skates 2 to 3 times per week. He also loves traveling, playing guitar, hanging out with friends, and doing occasional crazy things like jumping out of perfectly good airplanes. And I can relate to that, being my former career being in aviation, not as a pilot, but just being in the aviation itself. Jaime, it is such a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, I'm pretty excited. We met the other day, and I just really enjoyed the conversation, and just
absolutely. All the great things you're doing. And so let's talk a little bit about quit repeating yourself. If you could share some insights, because I'm sure there's some personal things that go behind that and all the things that you're doing in that particular area to help people.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, I think it's a pretty neat title for the book, but basically what it means is our provocative point of view at my company Bottleneck is stop doing the wrong thing so you can focus on doing your best work. In other words, quit repeating yourself every time. And a friend of mine, his name is Scott Beebe, came up with this saying, and I love it. I put that in the book as well. It says, do something as if it's the last time you're ever going to do it. And basically what that means is when you read quit repeating yourself, it's actually how we've used systems, processes, and workflows to really leverage the power of time and delegation. And we've been able to do that through these different things by quit repeating those mundane tasks that are replicated all the time. And it's time consuming, whereas you could be focusing on doing something else that you perhaps enjoy more, and perhaps delegate these to someone else. But one of the challenges with delegation is a lot of times expectations are missed, or are not met. And the reason why is because what you define as a task being completed may be different to someone else, because they can't look inside your brain and know what you're thinking. And if this is your gift, your entity, your baby, whatever it is, you've done all that. And a lot of that is contained up in your brain. And to expect someone else to figure out what's going on in there is ultimately going to let you down in the end. Therefore, once you start documenting, start doing something this last time you're going to do it, document it, either video or write it down. It'll make it so much easier when that point in time does come or does appear that you can delegate that to hand it off. And you have the confidence knowing that they're going to do everything exactly the way you expect it, because you've brain dumped essentially on how you do things. So they have a start point, they have a name for that. You're confident because they've confirmed exactly what it is that you're doing, and they've established a completion signal, meaning both of you know when a specific task is completed. And boy, oh boy, I tell you, this isn't going to rear its ugly head in 3, 6, 9 months down the road, because it's all being done up front.
Well, I love what you just said there, because I mean, you think about this, this is an issue in almost every size organization, any kind of business. I mean, this could be an issue in any relationship in general. It could be in a marriage. I mean, and communication is so key. So if you could kind of take what you just stated and kind of state it in that area, because I think that is a game changer when it comes to really eliminating expectations that fall through the cracks, or people, getting in, in this case, where conflict can arise because something wasn't done, or somebody saw it from their perspective, didn't see it from the other person's perspective, and just can't see eye to eye on what's happening.
Well, if you think about it, there's a couple different things. And thank you again. When you think about overwhelm or conflict, what is that a result of?
Yeah.
I mean, I'd love to hear what you think. Like, what is the result? What is conflict, overwhelm, anything like that?
I think, again, it comes down to, instead of seeing things for what it is, we see it only for what we think it should be. Everybody's going to have a different perception or perspective on a situation, or what's being communicated or asked of them, or you asking of someone else.
100%. 100% of the organizations out there, I don't care if it's a solopreneur, I don't care if it's a Fortune 100, it doesn't matter. There's two reasons why that this will end up, that the result of anything that occurs is either going to result in overwhelm or, quite simply, conflict. Those two things are a lack of systems and processes, and number two, a lack of understanding what it is that you're doing. The number one reason why somebody leaves used to be because of your direct manager. There was a conflict there, so you would leave. But the number one thing why people leave a position or quit a business or something like that is because they don't understand what they thought their role and responsibilities was going to be is not. And they're probably doing something that's not giving them energy.
Yeah.
And if you can't communicate this effectively, then you're setting yourself up for failure. So if you look at every single business out there, every single one, if they don't have proper systems in place, look, my background, I was 12 years in corporate America. I was in the military. When I showed up for my first day at corporate, I had a laptop and, a notepad and a pen and a welcome and my employee manual and all of that stuff. When I was in the military, oh my gosh, system, process. When you jump out of a plane, you do this, and you just it gets beat into your head, a process, a step-by-step process, so that when you make that first step out of the plane, you're in a pretty good position that you're going to know how to land, jumping out of these things. Well, it's when you leave that and you're an entrepreneur, or you go to start your own organization, or it's a startup, or whatever the case may be, you have to create all that. By design, you have to build your company. You could be a small company trying to play big, but in order to do that, you've got to have a system in place. And a lot of people, quite frankly, have a really tough time with that because they're focusing on the growth of the business. And it's like nails on a chalkboard for a lot of people. I mean, it's like, why is this good for me? Why in the world should I be doing this? I need to be going out and selling. But then you get on that roller coaster machine where you sell, work, sell. And if you don't have the systems and processes in place, and people ask me, when should I start hiring? And I said, you should start planning for hiring the day you begin your business.
That's a great point. That's proactive, no doubt about it. Not reacting, and now you're always playing catch up.
Absolutely, 100%, 150,000%. And here's the thing too: when you get overwhelmed, there's a lot of stuff in your brain, and that's why I think brain dumps are so healthy, because you can just start dump. It doesn't matter. Whatever pops in your brain, this pencil, write pencil down, paper. Okay, here's some of my biggest challenges. That's what I always ask myself. Okay, I'm having a challenge, getting out my right messaging. Okay, and then I'll start doing and then after doing that for an hour, maybe two, I schedule this, by the way. I actually schedule a time once a month to do a brain dump. It opens up my brain for many more creative ideas. I can start thinking of new ideas and new concepts. And, oh man, this would be really cool if we could do this. And I'm not worried about all that other stuff. And a lot of times people don't take the time to just think, like just to think. No distractions. I would even go so far as to say, don't brain dump on your computer. Like, get a pen and paper. Go into a different area where there's no devices around you, no phone, no computer, no Alexa, no distractions. But prior to doing that, let everybody know if this is going to be in your home. Let your family know, or your kids, or your roommate, or whatever it is. Hey, on Saturday morning at 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock, I'm setting some time aside for myself. I really got to do some strategy, some thinking. I just want to let you know, please, keep it down, or, if you're going for a run, let me know when you're going for a run, and plan it out so that you don't surprise them right away, because that may cause conflict, right? So everything that you do, if you do that on a monthly basis or even a weekly basis, is even better. But the more you can get that stuff out of your noggin and quit repeating yourself, the better off you're going to be. Because no matter what, next year's coming. Do you want to still be in the same position you are now versus growth over the next 12 months and realize that growth? It's super sustainable. It's not really that hard. It's just discipline, and it's taking an hour a month or whatever to put yourself. All I want to do is be a better person tomorrow than I was today. And that can only happen seriously through systems, processes, documentation, because that gets a lot of stuff out of your brain.
I agree 100%. And when you talk about these systems and processes and these things like brain dump and all these things, and I think a lot of this goes right back to the individual level, not just at a team level or a business level, but then what is your daily routine? What are you doing each morning to kind of solidify your foundation, or maybe have a brain dump to clear your mind to do these things? What systems and processes you have in place that you're going to be able to rise in your role and duties and empower somebody else to do the same? If you could share some insights there, I think that would be quite valuable to the business owners and professionals that listen to the show each and every week. Yeah,
so that's actually a really good question. Immediately it came to my mind on further education. Now, there's systems and processes, and brain dumps are really good too, but you could go out and hop on the mower and, listen to a podcast and learn about stuff, or, listen to a digital audiobook or something like that. Because I really think reading is really good, learning from others, networking. And there's something here that I'd like to tie into too. With regards to networking, something happened. I initially thought networking was, okay, I can meet a bunch of people so I can get business. And I don't know the exact time this happened, but it became so much more powerful to me to enjoy networking, learning about what other people do and how you can support them. And it's kind of cool to do a brain dump of sorts in an environment like that, to be supportive to someone else. If you look at Bottleneck, our entire business is encompassed in support. That's exactly what it is. That's our products. That's our service. Everything is support related. How can we improve someone else's life? And I don't say work-life balance. I say life balance, because you're going to work the majority of your life, right? And people are so worried about work-life balance. When I leave work, how do I shut that work off and experience? No, it's life. You have to experience everything as one. It's your life, and nobody knows more about your life than you do.
Yeah.
So take advantage of that stuff, and know that whatever you're doing, whatever product, whatever service, whatever that is, whatever your role within an organization is, how can you support somebody else? And in doing so, you'll learn so much. As a matter of fact, one of our words of the year, I think it was 2020, was listen intentfully and soulfully to engage notably. And we take that to heart. Obviously, I'm doing most of the talking here during this conversation.
Well, yeah, you're the guest, so we look for the guest to speak.
Well, that's what it is. Support is listening.
Yeah.
Brain dumping is listening to yourself. You're listening, and so it's such a big part of creating process. In a system that we've created, we've listened to our clients. What were their challenges? In networking events, you find out what other people's challenges are. And the more data you can collect, I think data is worth more than gold, worth more than money, worth more than anything. Data is it. And by listening and gaining all of this information, you're able to position yourself in any way you want to, because now you understand where weaknesses are with other entities or various people, human beings. And if you can get a call from somebody saying, thank you for giving me my life back, thank you for giving me my husband back, that's life, right? So it all starts, in my humble opinion, it all starts with listening, brain dumping, and all of that.
Listening is so important. I mean, listening to relate and understand, and I find that's a great tool to build rapport, with people.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We call it a Jedi mind trick. And for our new distant assistants, they get placed with our clients. And we tell our clients this, it's open, but we tell we tell them that we tell our DAs, you got to become the leader. And our DAs are like, what? But that's the boss. I have to do what he says. Yes. But a leader is somebody that asks questions.
Yes.
The more questions you ask, the more you're going to learn. You ask more questions than our client. And now all of a sudden, because you've asked more questions, you're leading the conversation. You're leading that meeting. You've become a Jedi master with regards to learning what exactly it is that you need to get done. And what's really cool about that is a lot of times our clients are so busy, they may be distracted. They've got so many creative things going on. Oftentimes it's hard for them to kind of slow down, smell the roses, so to speak. So our DAs use the Jedi mind trick to ask more questions, and that kind of gets them back on track. They create, we do, and we do it by listening.
That's wonderful. I'm a big advocate of that myself. Active listening is the term they use, and it's so important. And not just we listen to what they say, but we look at we look at their body language. That could be how they move their hands and their eye contact and all of the above. Making sure that's in alignment to make sure we're reading people correctly to know how to respond when it's time to respond.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree, 1,000%.
Well, share with us, like that, your concept and how's that show up in your business with Bottleneck Assistant Services?
Well, thank you. All of our assistants, most people are probably familiar with virtual assistants, human being-based virtual assistants, not AI or anything like that. I'm talking strictly human beings. And so, the distant assistant is not better than a virtual assistant. It's unique and different in a couple different areas. I define virtual assistants as a transactional based relationship, meaning that you're going to hire somebody to perform a task or a project or something like that, most likely through several iterations. And I say that because that's what I used to experience quite often. That project or task will get done, and then you pay them for their service. With a distant assistant, we train a lot differently. They go through a 6-week academy. They get certified to become a distant assistant. And I'm proud to say we're the world's first dedicated distant assistant company. And where we hyper focus is on our client. What's their tone? What's their voice? What's their vision? What's their mission? What are their core values? Do they have a point of view, a provocative point of view? Ours, again, provocative point of view, stop doing the wrong thing so you can focus on doing your best work. Do they not have a point of view? Guess what? Our DAs will identify that and perhaps encourage them to create something through conversation. They're trained in delegation and workflow management, meaning that every single task that's assigned to them, they have 3 steps for every single task. Number 1, they make sure they name it so there's no miscommunications. They understand exactly what this task is called. Number 2, they confirm it. The third one is where most people miss out. That's the signal, the completion signal. When is this project done? If I think the project is done now, but you say, wait, Jamie, what about this and this and this? Now all of a sudden you're going, why did I even hire this guy? He's not doing anything. It's all expectations. So we specifically train them. And the reason why we focus so much on core values, personality, tone, voice, vision, mission, is because through a proprietary personal assessment, we want to make sure that our DAs align with a core similar belief system that our clients have. Otherwise, it's not going to work out. Now, that doesn't mean you're hiring the same person as you. Oftentimes, you're going to hire somebody exactly opposite from you, but they align with your values. And that means everything, because it costs $4,129 to hire somebody on average in the United States. It costs up to 9 months' salary to fire somebody.
Yeah.
So when you're thinking about hiring somebody, this goes way back to the beginning. Start brain dumping and documenting everything so that when it does come time, they know exactly what you want from them. And a lot of people don't do that. Number one reason, they don't make that a priority. It's too time consuming. It's too boring. I want to
and then just like you said, it's not a priority. That's just in itself right there.
Yep. Yeah. Because we're a society of immediacy. Next year, oh my gosh, there's two kinds of people. Next year's a long time. Next year's right around the corner.
Yeah.
I like to think that no matter what, who knows what happens, but next year's coming. I would love to be in a better position then. And the things I do today will affect how I live.
Absolutely.
What experiences I have, everything from a year from now.
You focus more on the process of what you can control versus what you can't, and not get caught up in that fear. You're in the moment. Fear is reduced in the moment.
Absolutely. There's another big, strong thing about that. It does a lot to prevent overwhelm.
Yeah.
It's just like you remember back in high school, junior high, or school, or college even. You're going out and having fun. They tell you right in the beginning, hey, there's going to be a test next month. Da, da, da. When do you study for it? The night before? Right? I 1 year got straight A's. It never happened again, but one time I got straight A's. I believe the reason I got straight A's that year was every time there was a test or a quiz or something like that was announced, I started studying for it that day that I learned about it. And when it came time to have that test, I already knew everything. I wasn't stressing out that night before. And so that really kind of is ingrained in my brain that if you start doing stuff early on, it reduces so much overwhelm and stress. And while everybody else is freaking out trying to get stuff done right at the end, and now they're getting excited and they're crying or they're getting in arguments, it's all because they failed the preparation because it wasn't a priority at that moment. So make things a year from now a priority now.
Yeah, so true. No, I love what you just shared there. No, it's so great. And I know we're getting towards the end of the show, and I wanted to be able to make sure that, people get, reach out to me. Before you mention where people mention a little bit about your company, Bottleneck. I know you touched on it a little bit here during the conversation of our discussion on quit repeating yourself. But again, some more information on your company and so on.
Well, again, thank you so much. I really want to, I'm big first supporter of education. So I really like to educate as much as I possibly can. Sales is an important part of every business. I get that. But I really want to create knowledge and share that. And after been doing this 16 years and after hiring 1,000 people, we've really learned a lot about the process. So we specialize in remote-based distant assistance. Our sweet spot is anything administrivia, executive assistance, success management, to support sales. It might be more important to say that we don't do copywriting and things like that. It's more supportive. So we're not the creative side of things, with the exception of graphic design and web dev and stuff like that. But we're basically there to schedule, manage your inbox, do research, data analysis, bookkeeping, things like that a lot of companies need very much, with certain direction.
Got it. Wow, this is fabulous. Jaime, how can people get in contact with you personally and get to know you and everything that you're doing, including Bottleneck Distant Assistant Services?
Well, you can go to bottleneck.online. If you're interested in learning more about Quit Repeating Yourself, you can go to quitrepeatingyourself.com. Or you can find me on pretty much any social, Jaime Jay.
Simple as that, Jaime, and then JJY. Jaime, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule, being, the founder and CEO of the company, and you're here with us, sharing your words of wisdom. We are so grateful for your time and insight today.
Thank you, Christopher. You're amazing. Thank you so much for doing. You did this so quick too. Like you've got your stuff going on there, so I appreciate it.
We've been doing this a while. We've been doing this quite for some while. But no, thank you. And we're definitely going to have you on a future show, which we can expand upon what you do. And again, thank you so much. And listeners, we want to thank you each and every week joining us here at Business Influencers. Again, we are committed to your success in raising your level of influence and your business to the next level. Feel free to reach out to us at chris@christophersalem.com if you like any input or any suggestions to content or certain subject matter experts you'd like to see on the show. Drop us a line there, and either myself or someone from my team will get back to you to see what we can do to help address that for you. Till then, everybody, have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you next week.